Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com here with your free pick in the Baylor versus Kansas college basketball matchup on Saturday, March the 2nd, 2024. If you like all the free picks we do at Pickdawgz, you'll love our premium picks, our best bets. Use the discount code PICK for 15% off. We also have products meant for people who make big bets, people looking with big bankrolls, looking for that one-on-one style service. We offer those products. They're just not available on the website. To get those, you got to text the number you see on the screen. So if you make big bets like I do, text that number. But let's get to this one. Baylor taking on Kansas. It's a monster matchup in the Big 12. And while both these teams have national championships in recent history, the thing is that Baylor comes into this one fourth in the Big 12. Kansas third in the Big 12. Of course, Kansas was the top-ranked team entering this season. Just have had their share of bumps in the road, and it's tough when you have this type of reputation. The thing is, Kansas is super talented, but when you're Kansas, a blue blood, pretty much one of the elite of elite teams in all of college basketball. Every single time you go on the road, it is in front of a sellout road crowd, and it just makes it a pretty tough environment no matter where you play. Kansas, at 21-7 this season, well, a lot of teams would love 21-7, 750 winning percentage. For Kansas, it is just a little bit short, especially since they hit the transfer portal hard and had brought Hunter Dickinson in, who I never really believed was quite all he has been built up to be. Meanwhile, we look at this Baylor team. This team is also really, really good. We've seen them stumble at times, though, and we'll go over that a little bit in depth in just a second. But the thing is that this Baylor team is 11 deep on the bench, 11 guys that could seriously start on this team and on most teams in the country. So the thing is just finding that right mix and that right chemistry. And we've seen Baylor have that. When these two teams met earlier this season at Kansas, that was back on February 10th, it was a great game. Baylor getting 5.5 points, covering the spread. It was Kansas getting the win. We look at, what Kansas has done recently, and, this is exactly what I was talking about. Last time out, losing at home and breaking that home winning streak, losing against BYU, in a game that they had. They had that game, and they just kind of let it get away from just something we haven't seen from Kansas, and especially at home. Meanwhile, they also have losses at Texas Tech, at Kansas State. They did win at Oklahoma, lost at Iowa State. So really, it's been 3 of their last 4 road games. They've lost outright in those games. When it comes to covering the spread, they're just 2-4 against the number in their last 6 games. Playing against heavy-duty competition, but really not holding up like you expect Kansas to do against that heavy-duty competition. When we look at this Baylor team, like I said, absolutely loaded once again, but they've taken their share of bumps and bruises too. They had Houston dead to rights the last time we saw them at home. They missed the free throw in the final second of the game that would have given them the win. And, as good as Baylor is, one of the top 3-point shooting teams in the nation, one of the top teams when it comes to shooting percentage, you absolutely have to hit that free throw at that point in the game. We've seen Baylor struggle at other times in the TCU game when they lost 105-102 against TCU. It was a similar situation where they just kind of didn't hit those free throws. Other than that, though, they played well. They lost to the same BYU team that Kansas lost to, but they lost to them at BYU. After what we saw in the first game between these two, the expectation is we're going to see another great game. The thing is like I said, I think Kansas is a little bit overrated. I don't think they're quite the team that many thought they were going to be. They're a great team. They're one of the top teams. Not as good as Baylor. I'm going to take Baylor, and that's going to be my free pick. Of course, while you're doing your picks, putting your bets in, use our free betting tools at sportschatplace.com. 100% free, and they'll help put you on the most favorable bets on the board today.